The big question that I'm trying to answer with The Good Life is how to live life in the face of the climate emergency. And I do that by exploring how I live my own personal life, but also how people are living lives around Australia in a really meaningful and effective way that's countering the climate emergency. And I take it to another level and look at whole system change as well. So how are organisations and initiatives doing that? So everything from small scale up to the big scale. The inspiration came for writing this book is very much around, I really want to be part of changing the narrative around the climate emergency. Right now, we are bombarded with bad news, and if you read the science, the trajectory does not look good. And I don't want us to ignore the facts. We have to know the facts. However, I really would like to help shift that narrative so we start investing in the solutions and not just wallowing in the huge, enormous problems that we're facing. And so The Good Life is very much about going, here are some existing solutions in small and large scales. What would happen if we started investing in them and started living them into reality on a mass scale? Good things would happen. That's what would happen. I guess I've been thinking about the climate emergency for over 2 decades now. There wasn't any huge surprises in my research, but what was really affirming is that every sector, every profession, every body essentially has a key role in countering the climate emergency. So it's not just about changing where we get our energy from, although that is very important. It's also about how we run our housing industry, how we invest our money personally and en masse. There is so many things in every area you possibly think about. There's a solution for how we can reshape that to counter the climate emergency. So I came away from this going, there's a big problem, but there are so many solutions and we all have a role. We all have an opportunity to bring them into life. It's actually quite exciting when you think about it. My key message is to start. It's always going to be imperfect and sometimes it'll be a little bit small and not as grandiose as you would like, but collective momentum happens when individuals just start doing stuff. And so my key message is don't underestimate your individual power and don't ignore what that can lead to in terms of collective action, and seek that out. Once you start doing things, you'll start noticing that other people are doing things too. And all of a sudden, you're no longer alone, you're a part of something bigger. And that's what we're looking for here, is embrace the individual and work towards a collective. I think we're all going to have an impact on the climate, and the key thing is how can we make that a beneficial impact. Right now, it's not looking so great. How can we shift that around? As I mentioned, that can happen individually, but collectively, and we really need to start thinking about large-scale solutions, and that's collective action, but also political and industry action as well. How can we be part of the conversation to shift those different areas into positive impacts on our climate? There's so much opportunity there. And I think the key thing is that everyone deserves a seat at that table. It's not just up to people in current authority leadership positions to make those decisions for us. It is our world, this is our decision. So it's all of us can speak up and have that say at the table. I hope people reading The Good Life remember how much they're capable of. Humans are extraordinary. And while a lot of us think we are quite ordinary and have ordinary lives, we can do extraordinary things. My hope is that we embrace something called radical hope, which is having optimism and courage in the face of huge uncertainty, which is the climate emergency. And remember, we can shape the future. And that's going to be a really, really good one.